Can you beat an entire video game without taking any damage on the hardest difficulty? The short answer is no. I spent over 4 hours trying to get through the tutorial level while recording this video. My breaking point was after this happened.
Okay.
So I went back to the drawing board and made a realization. The game I'm completing this challenge on is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, or Fallen Order for short. If it's impossible to take no damage, what's the next best thing? Well, what about only resetting when I take enough damage to die? See, Star Wars games can be very unrealistic. A direct lightsaber hit has the potential to do the same amount of damage as a headbutt from a bog rat. I tested this with maxed out health and maximum healing stims, and I took 32 direct hits from a lightsaber before dying.
Shouldn't have tried to play the hero.
That makes Reva look like a well-written character. My new goal is to be as realistic as possible. Rather than not being able to take any damage at all, I am now able to take a few little hits here and there as long as it wouldn't realistically kill me. The idea is that I restart the game each time I am defeated and go back to the last save point. Except, I'm not allowed to use save points. Here's the rule set I created for myself. I will go over it as fast as possible, but go to this timestamp if you want to skip to the gameplay. I need to stay on the hardest difficulty, meaning my parry window is small and enemy aggression is maximized. As I just mentioned, I can't use save points unless it's before the main boss fights. I thought about this a lot, but I decided that this challenge would be insanely difficult if I couldn't save before them. To make up for this a little, I can't avoid fights, I have to fight and defeat each enemy I encounter, and I also have to fight each mini-boss without saving. I can only save at the ship or when the game autosaves, which is not very often after the first 2 levels. Lastly, I came up with these damage slots to replace taking no damage. Up on screen are the details. Basically, the stronger the enemy and the attack, the closer it takes me to resetting my game. These icons will always be in the top right displaying how much damage I can take. This will reset when I make it back to the ship. Before we get into the gameplay, this video will be in multiple parts. There was simply no way I was fitting this all in one video. So let's get into the gameplay. The game opens on the planet of Bracca to some interesting music. And we promptly meet our main character, Darth Vader.
Psych!
Here he is, Chief.
Our robot boss gives us a side quest that will double our pay. This was definitely the most annoying part about replaying the storyline over and over again, so I'll fast forward through this part. The only real threat here was taking fall damage, but that's pretty hard to do if you're being careful. So Prof and I take in the view, and I get to go down a big slide.
Meet you at the cliffs.
So I continue on my journey, and I find out that Cal Kestis is actually Spider-Man.
Just passing through.
Sounded like Miles Morales. Just passing through.
So then I go on a balance beam, go down another slide, and then climb a rope to finally make it to the clamps. This part was actually kind of scary because there was nothing below me, and with one wrong move, I'd have to completely restart the entire storyline. But I made it through safely and went up to have a conversation with Prof. So we save Prof from falling to his death, sort of, and commandeer a ship.
I'll get us out of here. Just hang on. Look out.
We get knocked out of the sky and have a bit of a crash landing. I lift the girder off of Prof, and we head off into the rain. So I promise the cutscenes are finally almost over and we can get to the action. One thing I didn't mention is when I'm on Bracca and I take enough damage to reset the game, I have to reset the whole game even though there are autosave points. It autosaves all the time during the tutorial, so I decided to make it just a little bit harder.
FBI, open up. Let me in, please. Let me in, please. Huh? What?
So we finish up this dream sequence by having a conversation with our master,
Only in the Force.
and then we get pulled over by the cops. Some bad guys show up and they threaten summary execution if we don't give up the Jedi. We're tricked into believing that Prof is going to give us up,
It's time someone came forward.
but he ends up making a speech that the Empire doesn't like very much.
Yes, you are.
So we reveal ourselves and we take a pretty unrealistic fall, even for a Jedi. It did not look like he used the force to slow himself down there. I miraculously get up and take out some stormtroopers. Because I have the timing down for deflecting their bolts, it wasn't too difficult, but I still had to be careful. I do some more parkour and I make it to the scout trooper tutorial. The finishers in this game are really cool. I leave a pile of bodies and remember to go up the wheel correctly this time. I deflect more blaster bolts, defeating the stormtroopers, and I absolutely demolish the scout trooper. And this one too. I climb up the side of the train to the scariest fight yet. I died here so many times when I was trying to take no damage. Unfortunately, I accidentally let go of my block while dodging away from an enemy, so I did take a little bit of damage. It was just a basic attack from a scout trooper though, so it didn't set me back too much. Then I had to avoid getting damaged by this ship. For a while I thought this was really difficult, but if you hold block right at the end you can't get hit. The ship ends up only hitting some friendly fire, and it blows up the part of the train that I'm standing on. More parkour, and wow, this game is beautiful. I climb to the top, and the ship has plenty of time to shoot me, but I guess the pilot was feeling merciful.
Who are you?
Our saviors can't pick us up here, so we have to keep moving. I went to the top to fight some scout troopers. While you're doing a finisher, you can't get hit by enemies, but it gave me the shortest finisher in the game, so I wasn't prepared to block and took more damage. I only had one fight left before the boss, meaning I could autosave. I was getting kind of nervous because I could only take one more hit. But I could not sit through that storyline one more time, so I had to give it my all. I don't know what got into me, but somehow I deflected the stormtrooper's blaster bolt as I was getting attacked by the scout trooper. So I take out more stormtroopers and I go to the top of the car again. The ninth sister starts flying towards me and blows up the train. Because this game loves slides so much, I slide to the very bottom and get picked up by the same characters from before. Cal apparently has bones of steel because he falls from an insane height again. And we make it to the bottom and come face to face with the second sister. I hadn't fought a boss in this game for a long time, so I was a bit rusty, but the fight started off okay. I was parrying everything, but I got greedy and went in for an attack when she was going in for a red attack. Fortunately, this was a boss fight that I had saved before, so I didn't have to restart the entire game. On my second attempt, I was playing it pretty safe. My parries were terrible, but I was dodging a lot and making sure I wasn't going to take any damage at all. This is the fastest boss fight in the game, and you don't even get to take down a quarter of her health bar. The second sister pursues us and even takes control of our ship by using the force to turn the wheel that the pilot is turning. We get things straightened out, and for some reason Grease decides to jump to hyperspace in the atmosphere even though there's a high chance of the ship blowing up. I guess he's just like that.
Okay, shut that thing off and grab some seat.
So we get to meet the crew, which includes the hottest character in Star Wars. No, it's not Padme. Seer explains her goal to rebuild the Jedi Order, and we hesitantly join the crew.
Like what?
Like rebuilding the Jedi Order.
So I'm all you've got.
We have a nightmare, find a Star Wars ukulele, get really into playing it, and we find out that Cal has the ability to sense Force echoes.
Touch an object and witness events connected to it.
Cal has a conversation with Seer and starts to trust her more.
I lose control.
Before we get into the next planet, these are my stats for Braca. These do not include my no damage attempts. We then make it to Bogano, one of my favorite planets. I have to use this save point for the storyline, and we meet BD1. I actually have a Lego replica of him in my room. BD and I scale some vines, take in the view, and I learn how to use the map. We use Eno Cordova's clothesline as a zipline, and BD fends off some bog rats while Cal gets a little distracted.
I'm coming.
Cal starts his journey into becoming a psychopathic animal killer. Like, seriously, he's a Jedi and he just runs around killing animals. But I guess we're just gonna ignore that. I get headbutted by the bog rat here, so I can only take 2 more hits. We mercilessly chop it in half and go fix up BD1. We find a secret room and scale some more vines. I have to take this damage for storyline, so I slash at the electrified wires. This will be the only healing sim I use in the entire save file. I make it to the top and zip down another clothesline. We're blocked because we're unworthy of making it to the temple. I defeat a bog rat, do some exploring, and prepare for a difficult fight, the Ogdo. The Ogdo gets distracted by a bog rat, and I go to fight this one over here, and for some reason I struggle to kill it. And now it's time to fight this seriously overgrown frog. This is a really difficult fight early in the game because your lightsaber basically does nothing to it. Since this is a strong enemy, if I get hit with a basic attack, it counts as 2, so I lose. Unfortunately, I got greedy and went in for 3 swings. But it did save after the whole stim scene, so I didn't have to go back that far. I locked in for attempt number 2, but it was not a quick fight. I climb some more vines, and I almost accidentally save here because I'm just so used to doing that. I take out some bog rats, taking no damage, and I find some seeds for Greaves' terrarium. I go into this really cool looking cave, and I see some lizards running on a wall. It reminds me that I can do the same thing, so I go into a flashback from the Jedi Temple. The flashback consists of my master, Purple Shrek, showing me how to unlock my superpower. I guess he just kind of forgot he can walk on walls. But anyways, now we have the ability to make it to the temple. I do some parkour to get back up, and I notice there's a bog rat that I missed. For some reason, when I jump down, Cal decides to do a somersault, so I get slapped by it. I get revenge on it though by sending it flying off a cliff. I run on a wall and take an elevator. I didn't have to fight these bugs, but I decided to anyways. This ended up being a mistake because I actually got ran over by one of them. I keep exploring even though I still don't really have to. I almost got ran over again here, but fortunately I killed 2 bugs with 1 lightsaber. I head to the temple, and BD and I have the weirdest race of all time.
Racy there? Oh, it's on.
Huh?
So he gives up in the middle of the race, and somehow he almost won.
Okay, he probably would have won. Probably.
We arrive at the vault. I love how this game explores ancient alien civilizations. The architecture and world building is astounding. We walk into a claustrophobe's nightmare of a cave, and we make it to this expansive room where we meet Eno Cordova.
Whoever you are, you have passed the test I left behind and gained access to the vault and this recording, one of many encrypted logs stored in the droid. I am Master Eno Cordova.
He gives us a quest, and we have to fit back through the little hole again. We leave the temple and come face to face with an Ogdo. During this fight, you can see me become a lot more confident. I was hitting a lot more parries and I was dodging perfectly. The final boss for this video is every Fallen Order player's nightmare, the Ogdo Bogdo. This opponent is a tank and it hits like one too. It's aggressive, it's fast, it does everything that the Ogdo does, but 10 times better. And I have to do it without taking any damage. I stand over the pit, calculating my next move. Needless to say, my first attempt did not go great. I was scared that I would have to go all the way back to when I took the healing stem, but fortunately, it saved after the Eno Cordova interaction. I defeat the Ogdo once more without taking any damage, and I go back to the Ogdo Bogdo. This time I decide to jump down further away from it so it can't attack me instantly. I actually ended up destroying it. I even double checked to make sure I was still in Grandmaster afterwards because it seemed so easy. Somehow I locked it into only doing 3 moves and it didn't even use its special attack. But I'm not complaining though. I completed the first leg of the journey to beating Fallen Order on this insane rule set. I pushed the boundaries of what I thought was possible in video games, and I did it on my favorite video game. Even though there have been many greater accomplishments in gaming, I had a lot of fun recording this video, and I can't wait to start recording the second part. To finish off the video, here's a little edit of the gameplay.
The price gonna be